Hey guys, I want to share a couple tips here of things I wish I would have known when I started taking photos of cars. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Alright, so my first tip is going to be about the location you choose to shoot at. Having a good location can really sometimes make or break a photo. Not to say locations can automatically give you a great photo, but let me show you a little bit of the location I'm at right here. Right now I'm up at this park. You see I got the car parked right up here. Actually I already kind of framed it up right in between those two trees right there if you get at the right angle. And then you can see in the background there's a huge lake. Off to the side we kind of got some nature, good greenery in the background. There's a couple of power lines, but that's not too big of an issue. When I first started taking photos, finding good locations was probably one of the hardest things for me to do a lot of times. There's no clear-cut method of always finding a good location, but a couple things I will recommend is large open parking lots, parks themselves, because a lot of times these parks have parking lots inside of them, which can make good settings, especially if you got things like lakes in the background or you just have a lot of flowing landscape. Industrial areas, sometimes I've been to a couple places that have these large open parking lots where they pull semis in for like warehouses and stuff like that. And the way I find a lot of these locations is honestly just looking on Google Maps, go on the satellite, and even when I'm driving around, sometimes I may see a location, and then I may make a note of it and come back to it at a later date. Alright, so my next tip is going to be about car positioning. And as you can see here, I mentioned it just a moment ago, but I did my best to line up the car here right between those two trees, which can make for some decent framing. And also I have the entire lake in the background. Think about framing your car, especially when you're by yourself. Sometimes it can take a couple tries to really get the car into position, but once you do, then you should be good to go. Another thing when it comes to car positions, a lot of times is turning the wheels a little bit can also give you a new angle in the car. You know, turning the wheels a little bit can be cliche at times, but definitely can make for a good photo. Also, whenever you're turning the wheels, so if I'm taking a photo of this side of the car from this angle, make sure the wheels right there are turned towards you so you're not seeing the back side of the wheels. So for example, don't have them poking out like that. If you want to do it, go for it, but in my opinion, having the rim facing you makes for a much better photo. So whenever you're at a location, always be sure to move your car around a couple times. Get a new angle or a new perspective on the location can always help a lot. And another thing is use the environment around you to your advantage. So right now you can see obviously that there's this big puddle here, and I got the reflection of the car in the puddle right there, which can always make for an interesting photo. And also while I'm right here and it's on my mind, cars with their lights on always tend to look better. Right now I got the Mustang off, but whenever I hit the unlock button, the lights flash right there. Be sure to get some different angles on your car as well whenever you're taking photos. Whether you're taking a picture from a higher or lower position, this can also sometimes affect the reflections on your car. So let's kind of just take a look at the Mustang. So you see, as I move over this way, you see that body line? There's always two body lines in the Mustang light. There's one right there, and there's one right there. Compare it from here to back here and down here. The side reflections look a little messier, which I'm not saying you have to have perfect reflections in each photo, but definitely something to keep in mind. Alright, so I moved over to a different location in the park, and the next thing I want to talk about, which is honestly one of the biggest things that changed the way I take photos, is a CPL filter, which right now I have my own on the camera, so let me take it off and show you guys. So a CPL filter, which stands for Circular Polarizer Linear, is a filter that you can screw onto the camera, and just in the same way as polarizing sunglasses lens work, it blocks out light and some reflections from the photo. So it may not be very apparent right here. I'll be able to see it a little bit if you look kind of right there. You can see as I rotate it, it affects the way that light reflects off of there. I'm looking at it on the camera right now. But let me show you how it works on an actual camera, that way you can get a better idea for what it does. So camera is set up on the tripod, and I got the polarizer on the camera right now. And watch, I'll actually switch over the video real quick. So as you can see, as I rotate the filter, it blocks out light on different portions of the image. Now what you can do with this is either you can take just a single image of, say we want the light on the window blocked out, so let's rotate it for that. And then you have the light blocked out there. But if you want to create like a full image with it blocked out multiple parts, then you take, of course, multiple image with it blocked out multiple parts, but then you combine them in post in software like Photoshop. Alright, so the polarizer, it's such an easy little thing. You can buy one online on Amazon. I think mine was 50 bucks for 49mm on my Canon lens. But you can buy ones for cheaper or way more expensive than that. I use a Gobe CPL, Gobe, however you pronounce it. It's their 3-step, which I think is individual to them. It's just their highest quality one. But you can buy from other brands, Amazon Basics, I think NND might be one. I think I have that, but I use the Gobe 99% of the time, honestly, and it works fantastically. So the next tip I want to share is having a clean car, but I don't think a clean car is exactly the case for me today. But generally speaking, it's always best to have a clean car. You're gonna save yourself a lot of time in post if you want to edit out a little shit like this and whatnot. You know, obviously having a clean car just, you know, makes the car look better for what it is, regardless if it's a Mustang, McLaren, or anything really. So have a clean car, don't be like me. Now the very last thing I want to talk about, the last tip I'll give you guys for today, and this may sound super simple, and that's because it is, but seriously, know your car. This is a 2017 Mustang GT with a performance package, so it comes with those nice black rims. It has the Brembo brakes from the factory. Aftermarket wise, I have the GT 350 front bumper, which is a huge add-on to visually just appealing and being visually appealing in images. I have a Corsa Sport catback. I do have headers, but I have to get the car up on a jack or some sort of lift to really get a good photo of that. Engine bay is a little done up. I have some of the valve covers painted red and other things like that. Inside the car, I have a GT 350 shift knob, and I think over here actually I have the have this little Lund N-gauge, which I've done some cool detail photos of before in the past, but and then I also have my rear seat delete back there, but I don't think that makes for very good photos most of the time. But anyway, seriously, just know your car. If you're going to take a picture of someone else's car, a client's car, a buddy's car, whoever it may be, look up some Google images of that car and that color, you know, from a similar year, and try to get a good idea of what some good angles are on the car. You know, show off the features of the car. If it has aftermarket rims, you know, take photos of that, make sure to include them. If it has a big spoiler on the back, be sure to include that. I have the GT 350 style on mine, so that's always definitely a cool thing to have in your photos. But anyway, know your car. That's all I got for you guys today, so until next time, peace.